My life in a day in a DR Horton new build home. From the beginning, we've always had problems with the garage door. Now it's completely broken. I can't even move it because if I do, it'll fall apart. Who knows how much they're going to charge me. This crack in my front door that I always have to see. My floors, it's not even real wood. There's bubbles. Do you see the bubbles? Like, it's just awful, you guys. And this is not even a cheap home. And my light switch is crooked. When I asked them to fix it, they said no because it's cosmetic. So yeah, just be aware.
Today we're going to be looking at the housing market. We're going to see why some homes can't sell, especially the brand new construction homes that are being built, especially by builders like Lennar, DR Horton. Those are just some of the main ones at the moment. So a lot of these homes are popping up, especially here in Texas. I've seen them in Tennessee. I've seen them in Arizona, Indiana, you name it. Quality is not there anymore. So we're going to be taking a look at those homes. We're also going to be going boots in the ground to some of these neighborhoods. I'm actually going to go to a neighborhood where I actually sold a house early 2021 during COVID. I mean, this neighborhood was literally brand new. When I sold that house, there was maybe a few dozen homes in the area. Now there's a lot more homes available in that area. And yeah, I mean, it feels like a Section 8 neighborhood, literally. We're going to be taking a look at that neighborhood as well. We're also going to be reacting to a few more videos. These videos are going to be about the new construction homes, the quality of the homes. So let's go ahead and get started now.
Buy a Lennar home. I never use this bathroom. This is my guest bathroom. No one ever uses it. And I came in here to wash my makeup brushes. There was a really weird smell. And I went to get the sponge underneath the sink, opened the sink to find all of my towels completely soaked and mold. What the fuck? So I check all the pipes, nothing is leaking. That means it is leaking behind the wall. So fuck me and this stupid house. Yeah. I'm at a loss for words right now.
All right, guys. So if you're getting a brand new home, especially by Lennar or DR Horton, any of the big builders, make sure you get a very good inspection. Make sure, you pay a good qualified inspector. I encourage you guys to get a qualified mold inspection as well. There's a lot of people who do it, especially here in Texas. I have a feeling that lady or that video that we just watched, they are located in Texas for sure. Make sure you guys do y'all's due diligence. Make sure that a qualified realtor is representing you guys through this transaction. As a realtor myself, there's many times that I've told my clients, like, we gotta back out. We can't buy this. I mean, these are trash, literally in some cases. So make sure you guys get a good inspection. Make sure you guys get a mold inspection as well. Find a good realtor who will represent you guys. Not a brand new realtor, but a realtor that knows its things. I mean, I don't want this to happen to a lot of you guys, but I mean, we're looking at the videos. The videos, prove it. So let's go ahead and get to the next video.
They're about to fucking lay sod on this shit. Is that for fucking real, dude? No wonder my fucking grass doesn't grow. What the fuck? How? No way. No way. They think they're gonna plant grass on this shit? This is a literal joke. No wonder I can't fucking grow grass. What in the hell is that? Holy shit. Hang on. Cause there's sod here too, dude. What the No way! What? 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 What?
All right, guys. So I laughed a little too hard. I mean, I also looked at the comments. They're very funny. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and look at the comments right now. They're pretty funny. All right, then. So the first comment says, it's got to sell. doesn't have to last. I mean, that's pretty true. All they want to do is get to sell. The second comment says, in the future, the HOA will impose fines for your grass not growing. Hey, I've seen that too as well. They definitely will. The third comment says, buying an old house, I don't care if it's haunted. That is definitely true, right? And then there's people here replying. It says, I bought an old house, fixed it up, paid it off, and I'm living the best life. Hey, that sometimes you gotta do that, man. I mean, I can't trust new builders. That is for sure. You can't trust new builders. And let's look at another one, another two. It says, why do people keep buying these homes? That's a good question. Why are people buying these? And right now, they're very affordable. I mean, looking at the interest rates, I mean, some of these builders are giving 3.5%, maybe 4% interest rate. That's maybe locked in for the first 5 years.
And if this video has popped up on your For You page, all that I ask is that you please stay and listen to our story. I am a 25-year-old mom of 3, and my husband and I recently closed on our new construction home about 20 months ago. Never did we think that our dream home would actually turn into the house of our nightmares. Before closing on our house, I was very adamant about having our own inspection so that we could make sure that this house was right for us. Upon receiving our inspection, we saw that there were a couple of issues with this house, one of them being that there was high humidity in this house. When bringing all of this information to our builder, they assured us that they would send the adequate technicians out and that they would fix everything. They did supply us with updates, so as naive as we might have been because we were so young when we bought this house, we believed that everything was right. Their answer was that there was high humidity in this house because when constructing it, builders, the builders or the workers that were building the house often left the doors open. And since we do reside in Texas, Alvin especially, there is high humidity. So we took it as an answer that everything would be okay in the end. Ultimately, things were not okay in the end. Fast forward to about 18 months of us after buying the house, we are now experiencing really high humidity levels up in the 80s and the 90s. We have had to have purchased multiple dehumidifiers, resulting in hundreds and hundreds of dollars. We honestly didn't understand what was going on, so we ended up hiring a technician to come check out our HVAC unit. When this technician did come, what he told us was, honestly, I'm going to be truthful. I'm not going to touch your unit. I don't want to touch anything. I would like for you to reach out to your builders because you should have warranty. Now, my professional opinion is that this unit is way too small for your house. So we did just that. We contacted our builder, which is Centex, and we did go ahead and file a claim through their portal. After about a day or two, we were reached out to and we had basically like a Zoom conference meeting where we showed everything that was going on, where our indoor HVAC unit was completely leaking. There was, mold everywhere. There was mildew everywhere. There was a lot of humidity going on and we just didn't know what was going on. Not even 24 hours later, a representative from Centex was sent over to come and inspect our house. In the midst of all of this happening, one day we woke up and we noticed that our microwave was completely full of humidity, and I mean dripping. The condensation was literally insane. While the Centex representative was in our house, he did take pictures and videos of everything. He documented everything. We told him everything we had been experiencing and everything we had been noticing. And he did clearly state that there was high humidity in this house and that there was a very pungent smell of mold mildew, which was the next thing that we were starting to notice. Out of nowhere, we started smelling very much like earthy, musty, like there was a mildew smell. Where it was coming from, we didn't know. We could not see anything to the naked eye. We just didn't understand what was going on.
So real quick, I wanted to stop the video because I saw this comment that really kind of stood out. As a realtor who started at new construction, I've walked the new builds with clients and I've told my clients in their ear, hell no, avoid this house at all costs. If I notice way too much red flags, so you guys need to avoid the red flags. Just because you're qualified for this home doesn't mean you should move in. A lot of people fall in love with the home, but they shouldn't. That is a red flag. I've myself walked into many new construction homes and I've told my buyers, like, you know what? This is going to be a red flag. Let's move on. Let's look at a different builder. Well, let's go ahead and just continue with the video because it's a pretty long video.
I forgot to mention, but by the time that the Centex representative came, our microwave that was full of humidity was at this point completely full with mold. And I mean literally filled with mold, which caused us to be more worried. We just didn't know what was going on. And then I started putting two and two together. I was thinking, our AC unit, which is leaking, there's obviously a humidity issue, and our microwave that is directly above an oven has an overhead vent. What if that has anything to correlate? What if there's something wrong with the ducts? What if there's something wrong with our HVAC unit? I mean, clearly there was, but I'm no specialist, so I just didn't understand what was going on. So we answered any and all questions that this representative had for us. He didn't really give us much information. He said that he would be in touch, that he would be sending out technicians. He didn't really say that we did anything wrong. You know, we just explained everything that was going on. And while the technicians that he programmed to come out did take a while and did reschedule a couple times, finally they were coming to our house. Now we had a roofer inspector or a technician, we had plumbing, and then we had HVAC. The roofer told us that everything on the roof was perfect. There was no issues. There was no leak that he could see. There was no wear and tear or anything that was actually wrong with the roof. So that seemed to be okay. And the next person to show up was the HVAC technician. Now, while I'm not pleasant with the experience that we had with him because he was very hostile from the front, we couldn't really communicate with him. He was not really giving us any information. He was not really giving us any guidance. And so I honestly started, just questioning him because there was no way that I was not going to know what was happening with my house. So I started asking him for advice. I started asking him if there was anything we did wrong, if there was anything he could tell us. And really, he was just very hostile. He kept trying to point fingers at us and saying that it was our fault. He kept trying to say that the dehumidifiers that we have purchased is the reason why our house was feeling so hot, which is extremely false because we have been having the dehumidifiers for about a month before anybody came out, and it was not hot. The only reason our house was hot within the last 3 days of the technician coming out was because the humidity was reaching about 90%. Clearly, our unit was not being able to keep up with whatever was going on with our house. I also asked him that whenever we were closing on our house, the only instruction that they told us was make sure you change your vents and make sure you flush your PVC drainage line for like the condensation to go out. And I told them, how do you do that? How do you flush it? And they said, well, people do bleach and people do vinegar. Please don't do bleach. I don't recommend that because a lot of people do bleach and that can cause actual damage to the PVC pipes. And I said, okay, I'll do vinegar, which is what we had always done. Mind you, I also did ask this technician that was sent out by Sensex. I said, this was said to us at closing. This is what we did. Did we do right? And he said, yes, you can opt for bleach or you can opt for vinegar. Vinegar is perfectly fine. But no matter the times that we flushed, and we had flushed it right before the representative was sent out, nothing was going down. The drainage line was completely clogged. He ended up informing us, this is the only information that he gave us, was that we have like a vent in our attic that opens up every hour to basically bring fresh air in so that the air circulates. And he said that that was set to be open 42 minutes of every hour of every single day. So in my head, I start thinking, if this has been like this since closing because nobody has touched it, nobody has been up there, we're talking about 42 minutes of every single hour of every day for almost 2 years, for 20 months. Can you imagine the humidity that has been coming into my house? That is why it can't keep up. That is why we're experiencing high humidity. And he told us that he had set it down to 6 minutes. And instantly, we started seeing the thermostat go down from the high 80s down to 70s, down to 60s. Whenever he left, I want to say it was in the 60s. And unfortunately, not even an hour later, everything started to climb again. 60s, 70s, 80s, reaching the very high 80s. So we were left with no other choice but to turn the dehumidifiers back on because there was no way we were going to let the house be that humid.
All right, then. So, like you guys saw, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of people going through probably the same thing as that person is going through, having a lot of maybe HVAC issues, having flooring issues, leaks, roofing issues. Hundreds and thousands of people are going through these issues. And these are brand new homes. Maybe if they're like, 10, 15 years old, I mean, you could probably understand, right? But these are literally homes that have been built within the last 5 years or so. My recommendation is not to go towards new construction homes. My recommendation is to try to find something older. I've seen some comments where people are just buying older homes and they're just fixing them. They're fixing them up themselves. They're spending a few $1,000s in cosmetics. They're remodeling the kitchen. You can actually do it for a few $100 if you do it yourself. It's going to be a much better experience. It's going to be done way better if you do it yourself. Okay, so now we're going to be going boots on the ground and looking at this neighborhood. Like I mentioned, I've actually sold a house here roughly about 5 years ago, early 2021. Last time I was here was roughly about 2 years ago in 2024. This Lennar master plan should have roughly about 1,000 homes in this neighborhood. We are located in the south side of San Antonio. We are roughly about 30 minutes away from downtown. And once again, the builder is Lennar. This neighborhood is Rudy Crossings here on the south side of San Antonio. So there's 3 things that kind of stood out to me in this neighborhood. Like I mentioned, last time I was here was roughly about 2 years ago in 2024. Some of the things that stood out to me were the amount of empty lots. Also, the amount of properties that were for rent or for sale. And then the lack of construction right now. There were very few homes being worked on. I only saw maybe less than a dozen homes being built at the moment. So Lennar just released its 2026 earnings report. They lowered its full year home delivery target between 82,000 and 83,000 homes, down from its previous target of 85,000 homes. And you guys know why they're doing that. I mean, high interest rates, low affordability, also inflation is very high right now. Alright, so I was actually able to get in contact with the client that I sold this house early 2021, and the main issues that they had was a roofing issue, a flooring issue, and they had a small HVAC issue. But the main thing that they had was the roofing, which was a small leak. Also, the flooring, after a year, year and a half, maybe 2 years, they told me that it started to warp. They did use a very cheap stick and peel flooring. So one last thing that I noticed here were the amount of for sale and for rent homes. There was probably about 10 homes for rent and roughly about 6 or 7 homes for sale. Also keep in mind that the builder is still selling homes in this master plan, so the sellers are technically still competing with the builder, making it harder for the seller to sell their home. So for the people who stayed to the end, thank you. But before I let you guys go, please answer me one question. Will you ever buy a brand new construction home? If yes, explain why. If no, explain why. Please comment down below. If you like this content, please subscribe. Please like the video and let me know if you like this type of content so I can start making more videos like this. And if you're looking for a realtor in the state of Texas, or if you need some guidance, my link is in the description. Go ahead and click on it. That is the best way to get in contact with me.